Sometimes I wonder what I'm gonna do, 'cause there ain't no cure for the summer rant blues. I'm Chris Wolvie, wrestling blog, who always tells it like it is. Well, all four titles I said would change hands did, though the WWE Women's title didn't go to who I thought. And why did Phillip Brooks tell Seth Rollins to go to sleep? He could have won otherwise. Oh well. 5-2, so back on the positive side. As the WWE returns to its 2024 PLE World Tour with a new stop announced for Vancouver, and also looks through the Olympic medalists to see who wants to turn pro, I guess it's time to rant again, so here we go! Yeah, Jacob Fatu is injured thanks to that tweak from splashing Cody Rhodes on the announce table, but I guess the Freebird rule is in effect, or Fatu will be back soon. Either way, it explains why he wasn't there when Roman Reigns returned to SmackDown after 4 months. He was the one to bring the Usos' little bro into the Bloodline, and this is how he thanks him? The question is, how will this be resolved? The only time Reigns defended his title of head of the table was through tribal combat against Jey Uso. Will it have to happen again between Reigns and Sikoa? And if so, when? Probably not at Bash in Berlin, though a match between Reigns and Sikoa could happen then, just not with the title on the line. And Raw's version of the Bloodline seems to have finally fractured, with Finn Balor causing Damian Priest to lose the World Heavyweight title. He reformed himself, J.D. McDonough, Dominic Mysterio, Carlito, and new member Liv Morgan into a new and improved Judgment Day. Meanwhile, Priest and Rhea Ripley have turned into Raw's new power couple, as it were. But despite how iffy the Judgment Day are, the numbers are still on their side. If Priest can find others to help him in his quest to tear down what Edge first built up, I dare say it would make one hell of a War Games match, if Team Reigns vs. Bloodline doesn't beat them to it. Why, Wes Lee? Why? Hell, why not? We all knew that the Rascals were just temporary TNA exchange students, and we all knew the reunited MSK was not going to win the tag titles. So why not send him off with a betrayal? I'm sure Lee was more pissed than saddened that he couldn't get a title back. And if it weren't for the Rascals, chances are Lee would be on vacation awaiting the call up to the main roster, or transferring to AEW. But no, they convinced him to get the band back together. This was payback for Lee being tricked. And an unexpected heel turn is always the best way to reinvigorate a career, even in the NXT. Contrary to belief, I do hope Jake Paul returns to the WWE, only in a more full-time capacity. He is a good pro wrestler, and if he can just show that instead of concentrating on his brass knuckles, he could be a legitimate champ. For now, though, I'm very glad LA Knight took it from him. Unlike Paul, Knight will not hold the belt hostage. Oh, sure, it won't be a US Open challenge like John Cena, but like Rhodes, he will defend a title at almost every PLE. And Santos Escobar seems a decent enough first challenger. I'm not saying he'll win, even with the new Legado by his side, but still gonna be a good fight. Speaking of which, Randy Orton vs. Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship also seems like a good first challenger. Old blood versus new blood, as it were. Orton's been killing legends for over 20 years now. To have a chance of beating the longest reigning UK and Intercontinental champ, how could he not barge in? And Gunther is more than up to the challenge. I doubt he'll break Bruno Sammartino's 6-year record as primary champ. Hell, I doubt he'll even last past WrestleMania 41. But Gunther is definitely out to show he has what it takes to be a legend. And if it takes beating a grizzled veteran like Orton, so be it. Since the CW will probably not have Olympic coverage in the future, the NXT Great American Bash was probably the last time we see the WWE on Sci-Fi, at least until the contract expires. Truth be told though, I wonder why it was ever there to begin with. It was probably only because it was a sister network to USA, but even when the WWE's poor representation of ECW started there, I wonder why a science fiction station, what had anything to do with pro wrestling? I mean, sure, the ECW originals are just as weird as many of the original movies they played, but other than that, well, adios Sci-Fi, right when you get work. Finally, speaking of the Olympics, Cuba's Mijan Lopez won his 5th straight gold medal in Greco-Roman wrestling. The dude is 41 years old and is still beating the snot out of people 2/3 his age in the heavyweight division. Obviously, he hasn't tried to defect from Cuba or the like, so it's a little wonder no Pro Wrestling Federation ever nabbed him. He may seem too old now from the looks of things, but come on, the WWE is filled with 40-somethings these days. Let's see if we can get him out to come for a tryout. And if he passes, Booker T can announce him as a five-time Olympic champ. Who doesn't want to hear that? Stay cool, folks. The way things are going, the heat will only be marginally unbearable until 2030. After that, I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlog, who always tells it like it is. Pray for peace, and I'll see ya